I came across one of my notes, mind mapping, you know, that's how I like to think. Talk to your mind as you would talk to your employee or secretary or a helper or assistant, okay? You can make appointments with your brain. You can set times with your brain. It can help you improve your memory, and it can make mental notes. Oh yes, if you want to remember certain things visually, ask your brain to take a screenshot. It will actually do that. It will freeze. You know, when you take a picture and you freeze that moment, you can do that with your brain as well. Ask it. Ask it to take a screenshot with your eyes and do the performance. It does help with kind of activating the physical to make the embedded code even stronger. Okay, so when you want to remember something, ask your brain. Ask your brain, I want you to remember this for this reason. More feelings and emotions attached to the thought, the stronger it becomes. So it lasts longer in your long-term memory. Making appointments, so you can train your brain to wake you up at a certain time, or if you have an appointment, to remember you have an appointment at a certain time. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. So train your brain as you would train a new employee. Train your brain as if it was a machine, an AI, right? To serve you, because you can do that. A lot of people need other things, which kind of weakens your vessel because you don't use it as much. This is why laziness is a dangerous thing. This is why exercising is important, right? And like you would train your body, train your brain. It is part of your body, but maybe differently accessed. Also, if you want to increase your memory, include the 5 senses. The 5 senses, there are studies to be known or to reveal the correlation between the senses and memory. Like I said earlier, the stronger the memory, you want to attach emotion to those memories. That's how you remember better, including your 5 senses, which is the seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, whatever else, if I missed one, hearing. Okay, so the more you include your senses, your physical senses, in the memory or remembering the memory, it gets stronger. It gets stronger. It's stored in long-term memory because the more you are emotional or the more you are sensual, use your body to remember, the stronger your memory. Also, there is a tactic to make you remember better, which is storytelling. If you want to remember an event in your life, tell a story. Say it as a story. Think it as a story. If you do these things, your memory of the event will strengthen. Also, have a visual representation of what it looks like in your brain. Now, you can think of it in any shape or scenario you can think of, or that's comfortable to you. The amazing thing about that is that you get to decorate it as you wish. Okay, think of it as a profile video where you show the palace of your mind, which is basically your mind palace. I think in one of the shows they've mentioned the mind palace. I forget which show, but besides that, you having to access your mind palace is a great practice of filing the memories and the things that your brain processes in categories where you can visit every time you go in a meditative state or every time you sit in silence. If you want to remember something, you literally, for example, go into a library, which I have built in my mind palace, and all the categories of these memories and the thoughts, the feelings, the situations, and you'll find it easy to access. And this can include on a subconscious level as well. So in your meditative state, we all know you access the alpha state, or which is even deeper, a theta state. You can look that up if you don't know what that means on your time, but in a nutshell, the deeper the deeper you are in relaxation, your access through the mind palace is also accessible when it comes to your subconscious. So this is what makes the mind palace important, because you can access that in an environment where you feel comfortable, but you still manage to access your subconscious. So it's easier to access your subconscious. Obviously, when you access your subconscious, you might ask, what about it? Well, more knowledge, more observation, more efficiency in analysis. And that is on the physical sense. On a spiritual sense, that you can access memories of your soul. And that is something that I wouldn't say you should do it, because it can be traumatizing. Just heads up. So I wouldn't recommend that, but let's focus on the physical side of things, okay? Because there is the physical evidence to improve your brain communication to the self. Okay, because these are almost two different entities. The brain is an organ. Your mind, however, is outside of yourself. Well, let's just imagine that thought is just floating around you instead of being in the skull, as so to speak. Anyways, so that is the memory and the mind palace that I wanted to talk about. Now, there's also another thing that is interesting, is memory and association, which is what I spoke about briefly. So you can include colors, texture, whatever it is that you find that is unique about that memory, which you can use to remember or to store in your long-term memory. The brain likes to be visual, and a lot of people don't really know that. They think it's just like chemicals. The brain likes to be visual. If you give an image to the brain, it likes to go in depth so much about the meaning of the image that it becomes long-term memory. See what I mean? Because it's analyzing the colors, the shape, the taste, the texture, blah, 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 blah. And that's how you remember better. That's basically one of the things I wanted to mention about memory. Memory is very much an interesting topic. You can go in depth with all these, but this is just a quick way for me to make sense of the correlation between the brain and thought, and how we can use that communication to enhance our life, because that's basically the outcome of it. The more you strengthen your mind through your brain, the more your brain becomes receptible of expanding itself beyond the 5% that we normally on average access. Okay, so it's a kind of big deal, scientifically speaking, but there is a correlation between energy and the brain. So in a way, you can use that in spirituality as well, where you get in touch with memories that are from past life. But that is another topic, maybe for another day. Hopefully you found something worthwhile here. I wish you the best of luck.